beautiful day by the bay. We're in San Francisco, where after last night's game drama, followed by the trade of Brad Ziegler, the D-backs will look to even this series in a game apiece. It's Robbie Ray versus Jake Peavy today. It's the Diamondbacks and the Giants. Coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona. And good afternoon from AT&T Park. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume, Tom Candiotti along the way. Candy, Gene Segura last night got things started when he hit the very first pitch of the ball game out for a home run.
You know, he was awesome. That first pitch, fastball there, I think they were trying to come inside to him. He smarted and left it over the plate, and he deposited. And that was a long shot last night. And Segura really got things going. And, you know, let's hope we get a little bit more of that today. He has been on fire with the bat, multi-game hits, leading to 109 hits he's got. So he has been dynamic for the Diamondbacks. He
has been the energy supplier at the top of that order. They could use some this afternoon coming off the late night game last night. It is Peavy and Robbie Ray, the D-backs and the Giants, coming up next.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box.
By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide.
And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Mattress Firm. Save money, sleep happy. And by Gigablast. 100 times more powerful internet from Cox. Bring on tomorrow.
A lovely sunny day by the bay. McCovey Cove at AT&T Park. Steve Berthume, Tom Candiotti, Todd Walsh along the way. 71 degrees and picture perfect in San Francisco. The D-backs and the Giants, the second of a three-game series. This is the lineup for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks this afternoon, Candy. They have lost 7 of their last 8 against these Giants.
Yeah, there's something's got to give here. I think the Diamondbacks have been playing so well on the road, and you want to see them really take advantage right now where they have been playing good. Segura leading off. You got Bourne. You have Goldie after him. Of course, Lamb in the 4th spot. Yasmani Tomas, Brandon Drury, Tuffy Ghost Switch in there today behind the plate. Nick Ahmed at shortstop, and Robbie Ray on the mound.
Jake Peavy set to deliver the first pitch. Mark Carlson is our plate umpire, and we are underway by the Bay in San Francisco.
Peavy, not a real hard thrower. That first one comes in at 87 miles an hour. Slider on the outside part of the plate. Jake's got good stuff. At one time in his career, he was as good as anybody in baseball. Right now, he's an age pitcher, but he still knows how to get guys out. Running the fastball in, he'll try to command both sides of the plate. Segura was a big one last night. He ended up getting hit last night and kind of started a couple things going on with some retaliation. Quinn Wolcott, the home plate umpire, ended up ejecting not only Chip Hale at one point, but also Bruce Bochy. So a lot of fireworks.
316 and now 6 home runs. That matches Gene's home run total from all of last year in Milwaukee. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he strikes him out to open up the ball game. Jake Peavy is your Arizona Ford starter for the Giants. 5 wins in 17 starts. The ERA right at 5.14. Diamondbacks facing him for the 3rd time this year, Candy.
He's a battler. Every time you watch Jake Peavy, you know, his stuff has really declined over the years, but I mean, this guy comes at you with everything he's got. I mean, he's on himself out there. You'll see him yelling at himself, trying to get himself motivated. He is an ultimate competitor.
Yeah, you know how he's feeling at all moments in the game, that's for sure.
Yes, you do.
Bourne 264, couple of home runs, 0 for 4 last night. That followed an 0 for 5 for Michael Wednesday against the Padres. Tejada in at 3rd. That's in there for a strike, and Bourne is down 0-2. Not thrilled with the call from Mark Carlson.
Peavy comes in with a walk rate just a little bit under 3 per 9, but he's coming out just firing strikes in this game so far.
Working quickly. Just turned 35 years old at the end of May, Jake Peavy.
He'll come at you with, what, 5 different pitches. A fastball, he'll cut it, along with a curveball, a slider, and a changeup.
The velocity not near what it used to be. Strikeout rate last season was a career low, but he's become more of a kitchen sink type guy out there.
Bourne has had some good numbers against Peavy over the years. 5 for 12, a home run. So 12 at bats, he's seen him well.
Just does get a piece to stay alive. Jake Peavy, after really struggling earlier this year, has done a good job for the Giants lately. He's 4-2 in his last 8 starts with a 2.45 ERA over that span. The Giants have won 6 of Peavy's last 8 starts. 2-2 on Michael Bourne. Slaps that one the other way. It's a base hit. A 1-out single that'll bring up Goldie. Our eye on defense for the Giants, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
Well, defensively for the Giants, and it's a good defensive club. You got Pagan in left, Span in center, Williamson out in right field, Ruben Tejada at 3rd, Crawford, of course, at shortstop, Green, Belt at first base behind the plate, Posey, and on the mound, Jake Peavy.
Paul Goldschmidt at the plate. A couple of singles last night. Goldie now with a 5-game hitting streak. Michael Bourne 7 for 10 this year in his stolen base attempts. Goldie swings and misses at the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Now 296 with 15 home runs.
Looked like a cut fastball just off the outside edge or on that edge. Goldie looked like he pulled off that one. Most of the time, that's the pitch he likes to drive.
Doesn't see that a lot, though. Mid-80s velocity. That's the thing with Peavy. Buster Posey sets up, down and away. Goldie lifts it into the seats and out of play.
Kind of have to adjust yourself a little bit. Let the ball travel when you get a guy like Peavy on the mound, or some guys that maybe don't quite throw as hard as other guys. Got to see that ball a little bit longer. You can't get jumpy. You get jumpy, you roll out over the top of one, and you end up pulling those balls.
D-backs saw Jake Peavy here at AT&T Park. That was back in April. He allowed 4 runs on 7 hits in 5 innings. Got a no decision in what turned out to be a 9-7 Diamondbacks win. Wellington Castillo homered off Peavy in that ball game. And then Peavy had another no decision in a return bout at Chase Field. That was in the middle of May. He pitched well in that ball game. Gave up just 1 run on 3 hits. Went 6. But the D-backs won that one 5-3.
Yeah, Peavy's been pretty good here. He's only given up 3 home runs here at AT&T. 10 overall in the season. But I think, like most pitchers, this is such a great pitcher's ballpark, and especially having it as your home ballpark, you feel good when you take the mound here.
He certainly pitched well lately. Sets up, down and in. Missed the spot, 1-2. This is a good example for you, Candy, of a guy that has learned to evolve as he's matured. Doesn't throw it as hard as he did back when he won the Cy Young in 07. He's learned to survive somehow, it seems.
Yeah. It's kind of one of the things we're going to talk about too. Is just what happens to a pitcher when you lose your stuff. How are you able to keep yourself in games and be productive for your team? And he has learned how to do that.
Goldie lifts this one the other way, headed for the right field corner, and that's out of play as well.
Well, back in the day, I think the guy that I remember doing that for the Tigers was Frank Tanana, who was just a fireballer when he first came up with the Angels. And then he lost his velocity, lost a lot of velocity. He almost pitched like a Jamie Moyer type.
Well, he was a big hard thrower when he came up with the Angels, Frank Tanana.
Yeah, big hard thrower, then learned how to throw the changeup, the big slow curveball, and learned how to live on the edges, but still would straighten guys up. And Peavy is doing that also. He still has the max effort look on him, because you'll hear him grunt out there, so he's giving you everything he's got. And like you said, this guy will compete as well as anybody that you know. And that's one of the reasons why Bruce Bochy loves him. Always has, had him in San Diego. And Peavy wanted to come here, and Bruce Bochy wanted him here.
Bourne takes off, and Goldie rolls it through the hole, vacated by Green, and everybody's safe. Michael Bourne running with the pitch. Grant Green broke towards second base to cover, and Goldie hit it right to that spot.
Yeah, Green had coverage here. He breaks through the bag. Goldie likes to hit it the other way. He has to stop, reverse field. He feels the ball, but Goldie, with good enough speed, beats it out. But that's all happened because of Michael Bourne, jumping off first base and heading to second. It got the fielders out of position, and now Goldie has a base hit. And now the D-backs have something going. 2 on, 1 out for Jake Lamb. Love the running game. When you get that running game going, it puts so much pressure on the defense.
That's the way the Diamondbacks played throughout the year last season. Very aggressive on the bases. Strike 1 to Jake.
Well, you set the table for one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Jake Lamb.
That OPS leads the National League. He's leading the league in slugging, OPS, and triples. 291, 20 homers, and 61 RBIs. But down 0-2.
Working Lamb inside. The first one was a fastball in there, the 2-seamer. Then that was the cutter, but trying to keep it in on his hands, not letting him try to extend his arms.
Peavy's had 2 strike counts on every hitter he's faced. This is his 3rd 0-2 count already. And he's in a 2 on 1 out jam.
Yeah, and Jake knows he has, for him to be effective out there, he has to keep himself in pitchers' counts. He's not a guy that can get by on that 2-0 fastball anymore. You heard the grunt up here. That was 89 miles an hour with the grunt. At one time, that was probably 96.
Back in the day.
But don't tell him that.
Already a 20-pitch first. He's only got one out. Jake Lamb walked twice last night. He went 0 for 2 at the plate, so that snapped his hitting streak at 8 games.
You get a lot of room down that right field line and corner. Williamson playing a little bit towards the gap in right center, as they usually do.
That wind is blowing out hard straight to right field toward the right field foul pole. Late time granted by Mark Carlson at the request of Buster Posey. Buster Posey back there, day game after a night game. And he won't get a break. Next week he's headed to the All-Star game. He'll be the starting catcher for the National League. This is popped up very shallow left field behind the shortstop spot. Crawford's got it, and that's the second out.
You never know with the pop-up here, and I think they actually did call the infield fly on that one, despite Crawford still having to go back to catch that ball. But you never know here with this wind.
Just where that line would be for the infield fly rule that they used to put on some of those old artificial turf fields.
Yeah.
So here's Yasmani Tomas, had an RBI single last night in the first inning. 255 and 13 homers. He's knocked in a run in each of his last 2 games. He's got Bourne at second, Goldie at first, and 2 outs.
Yasmani's had 2 at-bats against Peavy, 0 for 2 against him. A big hit last night in the first inning, dribbling that ball through the left side.
Swings at the first pitch and swings right through it. That was a 2-out RBI single for Yasmani.
As usual, Yasmani's in swing mode. Slider well off the plate away, but he sees guys on base that he's trying to knock them in.
You mentioned Peavy's got to stay ahead in the counts. He's thrown 5 first pitch strikes so far to 5 hitters.
And not just fastballs.
Here's the funny thing, that wind candy is blowing in the complete opposite direction that it was blowing 30 seconds ago. That flag was completely the other way, facing toward the right side of your screen less than a minute ago, and now look at it.
It's blowing hard still, though.
Yeah.
You never know, though. You never know in this place.
Swirling. 1-1 pitch. Tomas ahead, 2 balls and a strike.
Another breaking ball that time by Peavy. That looked more like the curveball, his curveball. But he knows that Yasmani's a free swinger. He hasn't given him 1 pitch that he could swing at over the plate.
That kind of thing that gets around?
Yes. Well, you know, once you have a couple at bats where you're swinging at everything, that video gets out all over the place.
That's hard hit on 1 hop to Crawford to get the force on Goldie, and that's the inning. Sunny skies in San Francisco. Robbie Ray coming up. And your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks is Robbie Ray today. 4 wins in 17 starts. The ERA near 5. Robbie just faced these Giants Sunday at Chase Field. Gave up 4 runs on 8 hits in 6 innings.
You know, Robbie this year has really come a long ways right now. A strikeout rate. Well, first he's got what 108 strikeouts, but a strikeout rate 10.53 per 9. I mean, he is dialing up the punch outs.
He's been going deeper into ball games too. The pitch count's been more efficient, fewer foul balls, fewer extended at bats for Robbie Ray, and he's got tough. He goes to behind the plate for the 2nd time in 2 starts. And there's strike 1 to Denard Span, who's in there at 249 and 4 home runs.
And another thing also, I think Robbie is learning how to maintain his stuff. A lot of times you see him fatigue out last year and he got to a certain point. I think he's maintaining his stuff a lot better now.
That velocity too, Candy. If he gets in 6th or 7th inning, it's still 94, 95.
Yeah, he's really been able to train for it, and you know what he's doing in between starts is really working for him when he does get out on the mound.
Ahead of Denard Span, 1-2.
Great slider also. When he stays on top of that slider and he gets that downward tilt, boy, he is tough. Sometimes he overthrows the slider, he gets a little underneath it, which what makes it inconsistent at times. But when he gets on top like that last one, that is tough to hit to go along with that 95-mile-an-hour heater.
Well, Robbie Ray 2 starts ago against the Phillies, you may recall, had to leave that ball game with a blood blister on his left middle finger. And we did see him glance down and look at that finger occasionally in the start against the Giants on Sunday, but it didn't seem to noticeably affect him. We'll keep an eye on that today. 2-2 on Denard Span to lead it off for the Giants. Pagan on deck, Belt after that.
Span is another guy that puts a tough at bat on you. Good slider there. He slaps it foul. Tries to live for another pitch.
Span 0 for 5 last night in his return from neck stiffness that had kept him out the previous 6 games. Made a terrific running catch up into the wall in right center field last night.
Yeah, it was a big catch.
2-2. Tied him up inside but missed, and the count is full.
Well, make him earn his way on here. Don't want to walk this guy.
Putting up a good fight. Robbie's another grunter. You were talking about Jake Peavy. Robbie Ray, at times we've seen him be max effort from the very first pitch of the ball game, grunting like Zach Greinke or some of the other guys we see.
You know, watching these 2 guys pitch today, it's almost like watching Wimbledon.
Yeah.
With the grunts that are going on.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Gonna hear it that time. Called strike 3. Mark Carlson rings him up. 1 down for Robbie Ray.
A little bit of a late call, but it looked like the ball was there to me. Only 88 miles an hour. I think this was a changeup, but it caught the bottom part of the zone, according to Fox Tracks.
Right at the knees, and that's 1 down. Here's Angel Pagan.
I guarantee he heard it from Bruce Bochy already.
Here we go again. Fastball in there for a strike. Pagan 284 and 4 home runs. 1 for 5 with a single last night. He's hit safely in 4 straight. Giants won the opener last night. They are now 24-6 against the National League West since April 25th.
You know, Bert, now your flags, they're blowing the other way.
It's crazy. I mean, it's changing complete direction, batter to batter almost. There's a little dunk shot that's going to drop into left center. A 1-out single for Pagan. Let's take a look at the lineup for Bruce Bochy's Giants candy. Now a season high 22 games over 500.
Well, Denard Span leading off. Pagan following him. And then there's always Belton, Posey, Crawford. Those three guys right in the middle. Mac Williamson out in right field. Grant Green at second base. Ruben Tejada followed by Jake Peavy, who at one time could really swing the bat.
Brandon Belt, who didn't swing the bat a whole lot last night. He walked 4 times. Fourth in the National League in on-base percentage, Brandon Belt. The 4 walks, a career high. Shift is on.
Slightly closed stance that he has. A little interesting, but it's really working for him this year. Close as far as his upper body goes, but not really his feet.
299 and 10 homers. He leads the National League with 27 doubles. Robbie jumps ahead 0-2.
Hey, hot dog!
Robbie's got 7 ground ball double plays this year. Really not known for being a ground ball pitcher.
It would be nice to see him rely a little less on the strikeouts. That would certainly help him become more efficient and get deeper into ball games if he could get a few more ground ball outs.
I agree, and I think by him doing that also, it'll conserve some of that strength for even deeper into games or for certain moments where he really needs to reach back for a little something extra.
Yeah, good point, because he can hit 97, 98-ish. We've seen him do that when he really needs it. A few ground balls, and he might be able to do that a little more often. 1-2 on Brandon Belt. He hits that hard but foul down the right field line. This guy will not swing outside the zone. We talked about that last night, and then he walked 4 times in the ball game. In fact, Belt is now only 3 bases on ball shy of matching his walk total from all of last year. Only 4 players in the league have walked more often this year than Brandon Belt.
Something that really clicked with him this year.
Sure did.
Early on.
Well, he's headed to his first All-Star game. Missed away, and it's 2-2.
Not chasing that slider. That might have been a pitch a few years. Last couple of years he might have chased. Might have bid on.
Well, he says he really found the approach at the plate he liked last September. He's able to see the pitches longer before he has to commit to swing. He's had a much more effective batting eye up there. There's that quick move from Robbie Ray. So Belt really now back to seeing the ball and not guessing so much.
Getting jumpy over there. Pagan was.
Pagan 7 for 8 in his stolen base attempts this year. Shift is on, so Jake Lamb might have to cover the second base bag here. As Robbie Ray humps it up 95, blows it right by him, his second strikeout. RI on defense for the D-backs, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Brandon Drury in left field. Michael Bourne in center. Yasmani Tomas handling right field. Jake Lamb, Nick Ahmed, Gene Segura, Paul Goldschmidt at first. Tuffy Ghost switch behind the plate, and Robbie Ray on the mound.
Buster Posey up there for the Giants. 289, 11 home runs. He singled and walked in the series opener last night.
And played a little dodgeball.
Sure did. Bruce Bochy was hot about that. Posey last night thrown at twice by Patrick Corbin. Patrick missed him both times after Segura was hit by Samardzija following that home run to lead off the ball game. Bruce Bochy came out. He got run by Quinn Walcott, the plate umpire. Walcott is at third base this afternoon. Bochy wanted Corbin thrown out of the game right there and then. And then after the game, Bochy said, look, you just can't have Buster being a target, and he's had enough of it. So he wanted Corbin out of the game on the spot.
Well, if an umpire feels that someone is intentionally throwing at somebody, you know, they have the right to do that.
Well, that's what Bochy was pointing out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Giants insisting, by the way, that Samardzija did not hit Segura on purpose. You buy that?
That was a tough one. I know the first pitch inside, he was trying to come inside. First pitch of the game, he left it over, hit it out of the ballpark. Then the next time up, I think Samardzija was sending him a message myself. I thought he was going to pitch him inside, and you know, the time a guy gives up a home run first time, second time up, you're going to make that guy aware inside.
That seemed like what was going on from up here.
Yeah. So I see it. You know, there's been in baseball, almost baseball etiquette, I guess, if you could say. It's been around. Well, I know I broke into the major leagues in 1983, and if you're going to throw at a guy, like let's take Posey for instance, if you miss him, you miss him. You get one chance to go ahead and try to get him, and if you miss him, you don't come back again and try to hit him
or throw it behind him.
No, you don't do that. You know, there's another bat or another pitcher, another time, but not back to back. He's up there playing dodgeball, and that's why Bruce Bochy was just livid about that, what was happening.
Well, a tough one here for Robbie Ray, being careful with Posey. A 2-out walk. Now he's got 2 on and 2 down for the red hot Brandon Crawford, who's been an RBI machine as of late.
And on top of being that RBI machine, it seems like everything that this guy has hit, he has squared up. That series that was at Chase Field, he was hitting rockets everywhere.
Yeah. Well, Crawford 278 now, 9 homers, and leading the Giants in runs batted in.
We talked about how well he hangs in there against lefties.
4 plate appearances last night. Crawford had 3 hits and a walk. He doubled and homered. The second home run against the D-backs in less than a week. This guy's got 25 RBIs in his last 23 games.
And they keep giving him RBI opportunities also. There's another one. A couple guys on base with 2 outs. That was the slider, but that's the one he overthrows once in a while. He doesn't get on top of it. You heard the grunt with it, which is all right, but you get a little bit underneath it and that ball flattens out.
Want to be a little more nice and easy with that pitch?
Just back off just a little bit to make sure you stay on top, make sure your arm catches up with your body, and then just hammer that ball down.
25 pitch first for Robbie Ray.
And I think at some point, you know, Robbie will get to that, but right now I think this is how he's figured out to be successful. His plan right now is to go out and just be max F and just let it go. You know, really rely on his stuff more than anything else. Let his stuff dictate the at-bats.
Well, I think that is part and parcel, Candy, with trying to get him to believe in his stuff, because that seemed to be a problem last year and early this year.
Yeah, because that's why he was a little bit scared to attack guys, and now I think that's why you're hearing the grunts all the time. He's letting it go pretty much with that attitude. Hit it if you can.
And that same approach worked for Ruby De La Rosa. Look, you've got really good top-level major league stuff. Trust it. Ruby did, and it seems like Robbie is now too.
Yep. And then now when you start learning how to command that stuff, that's when you get to the next level.
Gotcha. 2-2 on Brandon Crawford. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach. Angel Pagan is the runner at second. Buster Posey at first. 2 outs, 2-2 on Crawford. Pops that up. It's going to get behind the screen. Tuffy will give it a look, but it's out of play. Don't want to have this guy up in RBI opportunities, Brandon Crawford. It's remarkable to think that he's become a legitimate middle of the order bat. But since May 1st, Crawford has 52 RBIs. That's the 3rd most in baseball over that span.
Remember when Brandon Crawford first came up, almost felt like it was an out. Make your pitch, you get an out. Not anymore. You make your pitch, he still might hit a ball in the gap.
Just did get a piece of it. Maybe not. It's still in play, and Tuffy throws him out. That hit the mask and not the bat, so that's the end of the inning. Robbie Ray gets the strikeout. He strands two. No score in San Francisco. Fairly awesome. It's our timeless moment presented by Coors Banquet. Foul ball during Goldie's at bat. Watch the tray. Boom. She tried to catch the foul ball with the tray full of food and beverages.
And she did.
And everyone else around her. That is a timeless moment. It's brought to you by Coors Banquet. We're going to need a new one over here.
Now it's there, now it's not.
Oh, wow. Splashdown. Brandon Drury leads off the second against Jake Peavy. By the way, they ruled that sound after Crawford swung and missed was the ball hitting the chest protector of the plate umpire, Mark Carlson. And so it's a strikeout. Robbie Ray 3 in that inning. And Peavy ahead of Drury 0-1. Brandon 274. He's got 9 homers. 1 for 4 with a single last night. He's hit safely in 5 straight.
He's starting to square the ball up, getting some really good contact. Of course, when he does, the ball jumps off his bat.
Boy, it sure does, doesn't it?
Peavy looks like he is really working the outside edge against the right-handed hitters so far early in this game. A lot of cutters and sliders right out there.
Well, does he have enough to come in on some of these righties?
When he gets them looking away, he can come in.
Comes in here. Broke his bat. A little roller to third for Tejada.
You know, pitching is pitching. You know, you get them looking away, they go out there, then you run that fastball inside. It doesn't have to be hard, but just hard enough, which he's got enough of.
Pitching is pitching. I like that.
I mean, pitching is
pitching.
Trying to upset timing. Pitching is pitching.
Pitching is pitching.
Upset timing out there. You get a guy, you go. We talk about a lot of guys being east-west pitchers.
Yeah.
You know, outside, outside, outside. Then you come inside and you break the bat.
Tuffy goes a wish. Hard hit. That's just foul down the third baseline. Tuffy had a couple of hits in his start behind the plate Sunday when he caught Robbie Ray in that ball game as well. So maybe Tuffy and Robbie Ray have something going here. Could just be a coincidence. We'll have to ask Chip Hale about that.
You just have less margin of error when you're a guy like Jake Peavy. When you're going outside, outside, when you come inside, you have to come inside. If you miss, you got to miss off the plate inside. You can't miss over the plate and really get away with it like maybe he once could.
Came in that time and Tuffy fouled it off. Peavy's ahead 0-2. Pitching inside, it would seem, is really almost something of a lost art.
I agree. Pitching in there. Yeah, I mean, the guys will throw inside to throw, but to learn how to pitch on the inside edge, you don't see a lot of guys doing that.
And get strikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're taught as a pitcher, when you go down and you're doing your off-season stuff, you're throwing your sides in between starts, the one thing you're focusing on is getting a fastball on the outside edge. That is a pitch you have to have as a pitcher. And then you go from there. Your secondary pitch, whether it's your breaking ball, whatever, but you have to learn how to throw an effective fastball on the outside corner to be successful.
Well, Curt Schilling always told me the best pitch he could possibly throw at any given time was a fastball for a strike down and away.
That's it. That's it. He was as good as anyone. Then he'd throw a splitter right off of that, and it was over. And Curt still had, that tremendous stuff where even if he missed and the ball drifted back over the plate, because of his stuff, he's able to get away with it more so than, maybe a guy like Jake Peavy, who doesn't quite have that kind of stuff anymore. But still, regardless, you still have to dot that outside corner.
Tough, he can check his swing. Well, he came in a few times, then went away. Good example there, Candy, what you were just talking about.
Pitching is pitching, right?
Pitching is pitching. That's his second strikeout while he's pitching. 2 up, 2 down in the second. Here's Nick Ahmed. Well, Jake Peavy getting ahead. He had 4 0-2 counts on the first 7 Diamondback hitters. Jeff Samardzija last night had only 5 in the ball game. So Peavy's jumped way out ahead in the count in the early going. Nick, 226 and 4 home runs. 0 for 3 with a walk last night. Lifts this in the air to center field. Span and Pagan drifting over toward left center. And he's got it. That's 5 in a row retired by Jake Peavy. No score at AT&T Park. Another $35 on a beer, so she's refreshed herself. And Candy, it's time now to check your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, it's only got to be one thing, right? Pitching is pitching. Right? We can come up with that. And what that means is no matter what kind of stuff you have, if you have stuff like Robbie Ray or you have stuff like Jake Peavy, you still have to be able to command the outside corner and then be effective inside. Come inside. And whether you're throwing the ball 95 miles an hour like Robbie or throwing the ball 88, 89 miles an hour like Jake Peavy, you still have to use both sides of the plate and pitch inside.
And that's why pitching is pitching.
Pitching.
A 1-1 to Mac Williamson. Very zen of you. Williamson 0 for 4 with a strikeout last night. 212 on the year. He's got 3 home runs. Hunter Penn still on the DL with that right hamstring strain.
We talked about the power of Mac Williamson. All kinds of power.
Williamson played his collegiate ball at Wake Forest. He's a Demon Deacon. Giants' 3rd round pick in the draft 4 years ago.
I like the analogy you had, Matt Holliday.
Well, that comes from scouts. Just scouts are always looking for comps, and that's a name that comes up from time to time.
You see a young Matt Holliday there, the strong body, strong upper body, neck and lats, hit the ball long ways.
Robbie got a first pitch strike, but he's behind 3-1. Now the count is full.
See, Robbie can get away with throwing a 3-1 fastball because of that good velo he's got.
Jake Peavy not so much.
He's got to stay on the edges. I mean, he used to be able to get away with that, and he probably still can at times, but sooner or later he'll get hurt in there.
Well, he missed up and away. Second walk of the ball game, a leadoff walk. Brings up Grant Green, the second baseman.
Robbie really still trying to settle in. I know he had the 3 strikeouts in the first inning, but there was a hit in there, not hit real hard, the walk, and now a leadoff walk here in the second inning. And sometimes he just needs to get up to that 30 pitch total, 45 pitch. So somehow you got to settle in early and get the feel of the ball.
Grant Green, 286, 1 extra base hit. 0 for 3 last night. Did have a bases loaded walk for an RBI. There's ball 1. Grant Green has played in just 7 games with the Giants following his call up from the minor leagues. And there for Joe Panik today. Panik still on the concussion DL.
Well, you got Duffy out. I've seen Hunter Pence now taking some batting practice. Started at Chase Field with the Giants there.
Yeah, same as the series last week. No Duffy at 3rd, no Panik at 2nd, no Pence in right. Matt Cain still on the DL as well. ARI At SFN and Kelby Tomlinson, their reserve infielders, are also both hurt. Those guys are on minor league rehab assignments. At least Tomlinson is anyway. I think Adrianza might be out for a while. 2-0 to Grant Green is a ball. So Robbie really having trouble throwing strikes in this second inning.
As usual, when Robbie struggles, it's usually the struggles with himself. He's really battling himself out there and being able to get that ball over the strike zone.
And here's Mike Butcher. He's got 4 3-ball counts to the first 7 Giants hitters. Now that's going to drive your pitch count through the roof.
He's had a couple starts against the Giants this year. He's fared pretty well. Only walked 4 guys coming into this game with 16 strikeouts against the Giants.
Tuffy's a chest protector. It looks like a roll of sweet tarts or something.
A roll of sweet tarts?
Yeah, you know how you buy sweet tarts or sprees, and there's like a pink one and a blue one and he's got a whole thing going on there. The pink matches the snake head around the teal.
Yeah, everything you know nowadays is about style.
Gotta be styling candy.
I see a lot of guys with their chest protector with their names on it now.
Tuffy has his, we just saw, yeah. Or their initials or a nickname or something. Full count, 3-2. I wish they'd let the catchers go back to the like hockey goalie designs they used to have on the masks. Those got outlawed. John Buck had some very colorful ones made up before they put the kibosh on that deal.
Those are great.
Back-to-back 3-2 counts for Robbie Ray. Open up the second inning. Williamson takes off. There's the strikeout, and the throw is in plenty of time. The strike him out, throw him out. Tuffy goes a wish, throws out Williamson trying to steal, and quickly 2 down.
Boy, gunned him. Whatever Mike Butcher said, he said the right thing. He strikes, comes back, strikes him out. Tuffy throws a laser to second base.
Yeah, that was not even close down there. That's 4 strikeouts now for Robbie Ray.
Mike Butcher, you're a genius. Made him throw 3 strikes and that Tuffy throw the guy out.
40 pitches, only 21 strikes for Robbie Ray. Here's Ruben Tejada, the third baseman. Doubled in last night's ball game. First pitch swinging, gets it up in the air to center for Michael Bourne. It's up in that wind. And Robbie Ray gets through the second. Will head to the third. No score, the D-backs and the Giants. Fans, introducing Pepsi Moji. Every time you grab an ice cold Pepsi 20-ounce bottle this summer, you'll find a Pepsi Moji on the side of the bottle. And there are hundreds of different designs, so show the world how you feel and what you love with Pepsi Moji using hashtag Say It With Pepsi. Jake Peavy's retired 5 in a row. Robbie Ray leads off the Diamondback third. Jake Peavy coming off a 10-pitch second inning. Robbie got himself all spun around that time. It's 0-2.
He goes, just throw me fastballs. I can hit that.
Here's a key for success, Candy. After all, pitching is pitching. Jake Peavy, 9 batters so far, 9 first pitch strikes.
Getting ahead of the count. Yeah, he's not a guy that can pitch behind in the count anymore.
3 strikeouts for Peavy. Well, Gene Segura in the last 2 games has been hit precisely in the same spot on the back of the left elbow. That was Wednesday. He had to leave the ball game at Chase Field against the Padres. Then after he homered in his first at bat last night, his second at bat, he got that. Probably in the same bruise that he was battling after Wednesday, and you could tell it did not feel good.
It's amazing when you get hit in the same place. He got dotted. It looked like the same exact place.
Well, we've talked about this, Candy, and here's a ground ball to Crawford at shortstop. Teams continue to pitch Gene Segura inside, up and in oftentimes, almost once every game, but it's just simply not working. He is crushing the ball inside. Look at these numbers here. 429 on pitches up and in, 404 belt high and inside the strike zone.
Yep, inside the strike zone is the key. Right in there, and so that's why pitchers are going to throw that ball, run it inside off the plate to get him off from diving out there. A lot of those pitches on the inside part of the plate, he inside outs those balls and hits them the other way and up the middle. He doesn't really pull the ball that often.
Michael Bourne singled in his first at bat. I think Peavy's done a really good job of settling in. He struck out Segura to lead off the ball game. Then Bourne and Goldie had singles, and he's retired 7 straight since.
Yeah, working ahead in the count, like you said. I think every hit, he's throwing first pitch strike to every hitter so far.
This is along the left field line. Foul ground now for Tejada. And it's another quick 1-2-3 inning for Jake Peavy. Bottom third coming up. No score, the D-backs and the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that I could handle it. You know, obviously, you know, I've had a little bit of success, you know, just filling in for Zig the last couple of years. So, you know, we'll see how it goes and kind of go from there, kind of play it by ear.
Todd Walsh back here in San Francisco. Steve getting set for this first pitch. That's all under the guise of pitching is pitching. There's a foul ball back, and the question is who will be pitching in the 9th? Now that Brad Ziegler is a Boston Red Sox, Daniel Hudson weighing in, Tyler Clippard also saying earlier today, and hopefully that'll get to our website hey, look, a high leverage situation is where I want to pitch, and that could be any inning. And there's another pitch, and I just like what Chip said down there today, though, Steve. You're just talking about some of the opportunities for these younger pitchers that are in the bullpen. They're going to get some more high pressure situations.
Jake Peavy leads off the bottom of the third. Yeah, they have a host of young guys that could do it. I mean, a lot of these guys, Todd, have experience closing games in the minor leagues. Jake Barrett has done that. Silvino Bracho has done that. Enrique Burgos has done that. And Chip, when he was pressed today of all the young guys who might do it, he said Burgos probably has the edge. And he's sort of, based on what they've seen from him, earned the right to pitch at least late in the ball game. He didn't say he might close, but he says he's going to have to rely on him perhaps to get some big outs late in ball games.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that you have to look at is, you know, a lot of these young pitchers, you know, the great stuff. You got to see who's consistent and who's able to handle that. I know they've done it in the minor leagues, but you know, they have to get acclimated in the big leagues and things. And so I think that's when I look at Tyler Clippard, I look at Daniel Hudson. These are the guys with experience. To me, Huddy would be the guy because of the great stuff that he's got.
Well, here's something to think about. This hasn't come up yet. At least I haven't seen anybody write it or say it. That last year Tyler Clippard was in Oakland, and he started out the year as their closer. He had 17 saves for the A's, and then they moved him at the deadline to the Mets, and he wound up pitching in the Mets bullpen in the World Series. But Tyler Clippard, as recently as last year, has had real closing experience at this level. So it seems like those two guys would get the first two opportunities. That's 5 strikeouts now for Robbie Ray.
I did bring up with Daniel, guys, just the reality that he's also a free agent to be, and just dealing with the uncertainty that might present for him. And here's a guy that's been through a couple of Tommy Johns, and I don't think much phases him, but he also said, hey, look, I remember being on the other end of this as a prospect coming up. You also have to think about potentially being moved at deadline as well. So he's been around the bend.
It seems like Brad, we know he loved it here, and I'm sure he'd like to be back if he could, but he's got an opportunity, Candy, to hit the free agent market. And he's not a young guy anymore. And I think unless they got some kind of assurance that he would stay, I think they had to explore possibilities with Brad Ziegler. You just have that responsibility as an organization to protect yourself.
Yeah, I spent some time with Brad in Philadelphia, and I was telling you about this. You know, this is the first time he's ever been a free agent. He has never had that opportunity, and he wanted to experience it. And so, you know, if it's not going to happen with the Diamondbacks, or if they're going to have him come back, right, you know, they move him, get what you can for him, like Dave Stewart did, and then he can always come back, like you said. You never know, but I think he was looking forward to the free agency part of it.
And unless you're the Diamondbacks and you can get an ironclad guarantee that he'll come back next year, you almost have to look to move him and get what you can just in case as some kind of insurance policy. Robbie Ray rings up Denard Span. 6 strikeouts now for Robbie. That's twice he's got Span looking.
First time there was a very low fastball on the very bottom edge. This time the slider. Watching the way tough he catches it again right on the bottom edge. Almost ditto.
Well, if you're looking for closer, I would think Jake Barrett would be a good candidate to be a closer. He does well, as we've talked about last night, when he comes in to start a clean inning. He's closed in the minor leagues before. He's got great stuff.
He does have the stuff. That's one thing that Hudson has with him, is the really good stuff. Daniel's just been around the block a little bit more.
Yeah, and
Todd, I think they'll all get opportunities, I think.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's a great point, because Todd, Chip told us both, look, maybe right now, you know, next week and as we finish out July here, it's going to be pretty much Clippard and Hudson, and they'll match up. Whoever's fresh or whatever the matchup is may close that day. But as we get more into August and September, I think we will see some of these young guys get those opportunities.
I asked Jake this morning, I said, so what do you think about closing? And he said, I'm a rookie. I don't think that's going to happen. But I beg to disagree. I agree with you, Steve. I think you'll see him out there at some point.
Yeah, maybe not right away, but later this summer, I think. Look, if the season is going where it's headed, it's foolish not to give some of these guys looks and see what you really have here. So I think the Diamondbacks will certainly use that opportunity. I'm not going to speak for them, but it would make sense to get a look while you can.
And I think when Hudson was pitching really well, you know, the first couple months of the season,
sure,
I think a lot of us were even saying, hey, this guy's got the stuff to be the closer.
No doubt. Michael Bourne can't quite make the backhanded grab on the Pagan bleeder, and he's got a 2-out single. Pagan 2 for 2. He's got both Giants hits.
Very similar to the hit he had earlier in the game.
Yeah.
This was just a little bit more up in the air, and terrific try by Bourne, who tried to go in for the backhand. Ball just hit the grass, and he's able to knock it down. That's key. Otherwise, Pagan would have been either second or third.
Well, as Chip was saying this morning, it's been a season of underachievement, and this is what happens when you get in these situations. You have to make some deals and think about the future and solidify your organizational depth, and
creates opportunities.
It does create opportunities, Candy, and now it's up to the coaching staff to sort of make the best of it and work with what they have. And they'll certainly do that, but they have to figure out something that works. And it used to be in the middle innings earlier this year. Chip would say that oftentimes. You got to find a way for these middle innings to calm down and get some guys up here that can do that. Well, now they may have to do it a little later in games. Pagan takes off. The throw from Tuffy Gozawish is not in time. It rolls away from Lamb. And Angel Pagan has his 8th stolen base. That one got him in the head, it looked like.
Well, Johnny Bench wouldn't have been able to get him on this one. He had a walking lead that time. Robbie was just neglected to stop the momentum of Pagan at first base.
Let's see if it was the ball or the glove of Jake Lamb that got Pagan in the head. Well, it looks like it was the baseball right in the ear flap. And they'll come out and have a look at Angel Pagan.
Jake was in right position to catch that ball, but as he was sliding in, he went behind him instead of catching the ball in front of him and put the tag on him.
Well, that's the thing, Candy, with these shifts, and we see it more and more now. You're putting the third baseman in a spot where he's essentially playing second base, and he's making moves and footwork and angles and all that stuff that he doesn't normally see.
Yeah, because normally you want to catch that ball in front of the runner and then tag him. These new third basemen now, they have to be second basemen also. You have to really put a lot of work, especially in spring training, around the second base bag. There's times where you're trying to turn a double play. You know, incidents like that where you're taking the throw from the catcher at second base.
1-1 count on Brandon Belt. That's headed for Triples Alley. And it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Pagan will score. Belt is going to get an easy 3 here. And he's in standing up. It's 1-0 Giants. The deepest part of the ballpark. And Brandon Belt has his 5th triple.
Well, the hard thing is here, you have 2 outs, nobody down. He was not able to close this inning out. Slider, a little bit of the plate. Not a real bad pitch, but Belt got it. Drilled it out the right center field, and anybody can get a triple out there. You just hate when you have 2 outs and nobody on not to be able to close an inning out and give up a run or more.
Bloop single by Pagan ends up turning into a run. Now Belt is at third, still 2 outs. Posey walked his first time up. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Don't give up 1, don't give up 2.
Fastball missed at 95. Buster Posey earlier this year went through an extended slump at the plate. There was one stretch from the first week of May all the way through the middle of June during which he hit under 190. But his bat is back in all-star form. Last 22 games he's hit .383 and he's ahead 2 balls and a strike. Headed to the All-Star game for the 4th time in 5 years. He'll be the National League starting catcher. Well, Robbie walked him the first time up. Now he's behind 3 balls and a strike. Robbie Ray today has walked 2, struck out 6. Trails at 1-0. Belt at third, 2 down.
Nice pitch, slider, dropped it in there at a 3-1 count.
Takes some guts to do that, doesn't it? You're
Well,
either going to walk him or
he's got
throw
a
hanger.
Yeah, he's got an open base. You know, he's not going to steal Posey. You got Crawford up. I know he's a good RBI guy, but you know, he did punch him out his first at bat. He's not going to give anything good to hit.
Popped it up high in the sky for Yasmani Tomas, fighting that wind, and he's got it. But the Giants get one. Belton RBI triple has made it 1-0. I'm glad BB's not here to see this. We take a look back in history presented by Geico. And it was on this date, July 9, 2002 in Milwaukee, that they ran out of pitchers in the All-Star game and they had to figure out what to do. There's BB right in the middle of it with a purple hat on. One of his least favorite days in baseball.
Him and Joe Torre and Bud Selig. Let's call it a tie.
That's what they did. And
there's no ties in baseball. Come on.
Fortunately, BB is off this weekend, and we won't get to hear him. Well, we won't get to hear him rant about it for 2.5 innings. It was a tough day for him, for everybody. Goldie leads off the fourth. Jake Peavy coming off a 10-pitch second and a 7-pitch third. He's retired 8 straight. The first pitch ball by Jake Peavy in the ball game. Goldie hammers that one over the head of Tejada, and it's headed for the left field corner. It's an easy stand-up double for Paul Goldschmidt. That's his 20th of the year.
Boy, I love to see when Goldie jumps on a ball and pulls it like that. Two-seamer coming a little bit inside on his hands, and he said he doesn't have that Petro, that velo to get in on him. And he just clears that ball and drills it down the left field line.
By the way, the game tomorrow is the network night game, and the crew from Bristol is here. Aaron Boone, who does spectacular impersonations of baseball players. He is the Rich Little of baseball impersonators, spot on. I am told by Booney that he's working on a Goldie.
That is awesome.
And he's going to do Goldie tomorrow night. He impersonates a player once every Sunday night, and he's been working on a Goldie. I saw it. It's not bad. It's subtle.
Well, you know he's all over Goldie this game, just preparing for it.
He's watching him like a hawk. But if you watch the ball game tomorrow night, you're going to see an Aaron Boone Goldie imitation that is worth the watch. 2-0 on Jake Lamb. Jake popped up his first time.
It's like a lost art in baseball. You know, we all try to copy guys when we're little, you know, with their wiffle ball bats and all that stuff, right?
I used to sit around and watch baseball games with Aaron Boone, and he would have everybody on the floor crying. They're perfect imitations of his impersonation of Joe Torre walking to the mound to replace a pitcher is spot on. It's kind of scary, actually. It's very entertaining.
Man.
He does great basketball ones. He'll do Moses Malone shooting free throws. That's perfect. I mean, they're just random guys. He did not go. Jake Peavy can't believe it. And here we go. More players barking at Quinn Walcott. This time he's at third base. Peavy wanted that one.
See from the side view, and Peavy's got a point. Looks like he went to me.
It's 3-0. First 3-ball count of the ball game for Jake Peavy.
Quinn Walcott have a series.
He's becoming a player and fan favorite, that's for sure. Unlike pitching, which is pitching, umpiring is not necessarily umpiring. Is that correct?
Could you explain that to me, please?
I'm not sure I could, frankly. If you explain pitching as pitching, which actually I thought you did a great job of. Jake Peavy, 50 pitches, 35 strikes. 3-1 on Lamb. Goldie at second, nobody out. That's hard hit into right. Matt Williams will put the brakes on Goldie, as Williamson does a good job to quickly get that one back in the infield. Matt was winding up and sending Goldie home and quickly had to change his mind.
Boy, Jake Peavy stayed right on the mound. Didn't even bother getting back behind home plate. This ball is whacked to right field. Williamson gets the ball back in.
Did a really good job there.
Look at Peavy behind the mound. Goldie with a good job, always running the bases well, but relies on his coach, Matty, right there. Williams, and when you got nobody out, let the next guy bring him in.
Well, that's Yasmani Tomas. They're on the corners, none down. Tomas hit into a fielder's choice to win the first. Well, Peavy had been ahead through the first 3 innings. He'd retired the last 8 he'd faced. Coming into the 4th inning, but he'd fallen behind on the first 2 hitters, and the result, 2 very hard hit balls for base hits, and he's behind on Tomas, 1-0.
Inside fastball to Yasmani. He's going to go away with the slider and the cutters. Live on the outside part of the plate against him. See if he can get him to chase.
Belts it up the middle. That drops in. Goldie will score to tie the ball game. Another RBI single for El Tanque, Yasmani Tomas, and it's a 1-1 game.
Takes that slider away, breaks his bat, but still strong enough to hit that line drive to center. The location of the pitch, the slider, right where Posey wanted it. And Yasmani looking for it. Smashes it to center.
Boy, Jake Peavy, 8 straight set down to start the 4th, but 3 straight Diamondback hits have tied the ball game. Still nobody out. Here's Brandon Drury.
Keep this merry-go-round going right now.
The run is in. Got Lamb at second, Tomas at first.
Well, hitters are starting to make a little bit of an adjustment. Second time through the order here.
See if Brandon can find a gap. Bullpen quickly getting busy for the Giants. George Contos running down there, the right-hander. Bruce Bochy not liking what he's seeing. Funny because Peavy has done a good job lately pitching relatively deep into these ball games. He's gone at least 6 full innings in 6 of his last 8 starts. He's given Bochy some length.
And as much as Bochy uses the bullpen, when you get a pitcher in the bottom part of the rotation, you're not talking about Bumgarner or really Smarge or Cueto, but Jake Peavy starts giving you 6+ innings. Well, you know that bullpen is staying nice and fresh.
And through first pitch strikes to the first 11 hitters of the ball game, he has thrown balls to start each of the last 4 at bats. Funny because Peavy's rotation spot, Candy, early this year seemed like it was hanging by a thread.
Oh yeah.
His first 9 starts, he completed 6 innings only 3 times.
He was getting hammered. I mean, he was giving up line shots everywhere.
He's behind in the count again. 2 balls and 1 strike to Brandon Drury. Peavy said it was as frustrating a stretch when he's been healthy as he could remember. in his 15th major league season. Can't find the strike zone. 3-1 for Brandon. Peavy has struck out 3. He's yet to walk a batter.
Nice patient at bat going on right now by Drury. A lot of times young guys, especially with runners in scoring position, guys on base, they want to go up there and hit.
Well, this guy for 23 years old seems poised beyond his years.
He does.
Part of his makeup that you just love. That one's going to get down and drop in for a base hit. Matt Williams will wave Lamb home. There is no throw, and it's 2-1 Diamondbacks. 4 consecutive hits open up the Arizona 4th.
Didn't hit it hard, but kind of hit it where it was pitched. Cut fastball, outside corner. Just got the end of the bat, looped it into short right field, making contact.
Dave Righetti out to the mound. Boy, how do you figure, Candy? He'd retired 8 in a row since the back-to-back singles by Bourne and Goldie with 1 out to start the ball game. 8 straight set down, then 4 base hits open up this 4th. What's changed other than falling behind in the count?
He fell behind. Owen, he was 1-0 to Goldie, and Goldie really ripped that ball. He missed his spot inside. Goldie really turned on that one. And I think with hard hit ball to land, but even the ball of Yasmani and Drury, pretty decent pitches, but he gave up hits. They weren't hit real hard, but they still are making the adjustment. They're looking out. They've seen what he throws after having gone through the lineup the first time. And I think the hitters are just making adjustments to it now.
Tuffy goes a wish. First pitch strike from Peavy. First time we've seen that in this inning.
Nice thing also, the last couple of bats, especially with Yasmani and Drury, they kept the ball off the ground. They got the ball up in the air, avoiding the possible ground ball double play. Extends the inning.
Peavy having trouble here negotiating his second turn through the Diamondback lineup. You can see the big jump up to 318. And then he settles back down, and that gets him deeper into the ball game like we talked about he's been doing lately. But almost 320 opponents are hitting against him that second time through the order. And now Tuffy's ahead 2-1. Tuffy's first game action in a week.
Already paying benefits. Making a nice throw down to second base. Already nailed one guy.
That was the 18th pitch of this inning. Peavy had thrown 17 pitches in the previous 2 innings. 2-1 is lifted in the air. Very short right field. Belt drifting out there. Williamson coming in. Fighting the sun and the wind. And Peavy's got his first out in the 4th.
You never know when that ball's hit up in the air here. I mean, Belt going back, Green going back, and then they gave way. But they were shading their eyes. It looked like they didn't want to catch it, either one of them, till Williamson came in and caught that ball.
Boy, this is a spot, Candy, where if you can just get that one extra hit in the inning from the lower third of the lineup, it would seem to make a big difference.
It would right now. You got Ray coming up next. Robbie, you don't want to rely on him. So Nick Ahmed, this is a big at bat for him.
I think you've had 4 straight hits to start the inning, only 1 out. You've got the 2-1 lead, but if you just sneak one more across here, you'd really feel good about things. This is lifted in the air, right center field, long run for Span, and he runs it down. Tomas tags up and heads for third. Well, Nick sent it out to the right spot, just in the air a little too much. Span was able to get under it.
You have just a little bit too much hang time that time. Jumped on the first pitch, sent it that way, but too much air.
Well, we've seen Robbie Ray be a hitter this year before. He's up there with runners in the corners and 2 outs.
Robbie might get 1 fastball this at bat. He's going to get breaking balls that are going down in the dirt.
241 on the year, struck out his first time up. Tomas the runner at third, Drury at first.
Peavy knows this is the guy that he has to get. He doesn't want to face Segura. Curveball, first pitch, in for a strike.
Contos continues warming up in the Giant bullpen. D-backs have out-hit the Giants 6-3. They now lead it 2-1. There's a little roller. Belt collects it, and he'll take it himself. But the Diamondbacks finally get to Jake Peavy. Goldie started it off with a double to begin the inning. Then a single by Lamb. RBIs by Tomas and Drury. Bottom four coming up from San Francisco. It's 2-1 Diamondbacks.
In left field at AT&T Park with a couple of Diamondbacks fans making a ruckus, Jeremy and Whitney. And Steve, on the pregame show, I said we had a Todd's Garage giveaway in the spirit of the 2002 All-Star Game. I have a Bud Selig bobblehead. Jeremy, you can hold that one up. The camera's right there. And then, of course, because that was the first All-Star Game that had the final vote, we've got this now vintage vote Jake Lamb shirt. You guys could be the first one on your block. I'm going to award this to you, but I'm going to let you figure out who gets what. But this bobblehead is pretty cool, isn't it, Jeremy?
It's the best thing I've ever gotten.
Wow, you're
wow. Kidding. No, I'm not.
That's what's scaring me.
Greatest gift ever. I love Bud. Great bobblehead. Going to go up on probably my shelf in my room. I'll look over me every night.
All right, well, congratulations, Whitney. You're the first girl on the block to have a Vote Lamb shirt.
Well, you might want to recast your vote after that one. Oh. Jake lost it in the sun.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, it is a high sky.
Well, we've been talking about that. Balls up in the air here. Very, very difficult. Jake has got his sunglasses on top of his hat.
Oh, boy.
So he's not using those. So still trying to block the sun out. You can see the sunglasses hits him right on the left shoulder.
Yep. Sometimes you just got to wear it. Or wear the sunglasses.
That would be the first thing. Wear the sunglasses.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? That's been scored a base hit. I'm not making this up. All right. I'm not going to write that in ink just yet. Here's Mac Williamson. That's been scored a base hit for Brandon Crawford. Candy.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, scoring apparently is not scoring.
Right, we'll stick with the theme.
That's brutal.
I know the ball was lost in the sun, but it's a ball that should have been caught. Sunglasses are on the fielder's hat.
In Little League, it should have been caught.
Yes.
And Jake would be the first to tell you that. But the scoring decision is what's stunning here. Look, it's sunny and windy. It's going to happen. So we'll see. Here's another one. Michael Bourne coming in. Sunglasses aside, and that's the first out. He's wearing his. He's got a sense of relief about him. It's a little tricky down there, Candy. That wind has really picked up now and is blowing straight out once again to right center field.
Yeah, it changes from inning to inning here, and so it's a never-ending battle all the time for the fielders wherever they're at. Not to mention the sun, just the wind.
Yeah. Grant Green, the second baseman, struck out his first time.
And as bad as it can get here,
yeah,
Candlestick Park was way worse.
I've heard the stories.
Oh man, way worse. And I'm sure Bob's got some really good ones there.
Yeah. This is a great day for BB not to be here. First, the Bud Selig All-Star clip. Then Jake Lamb losing a ball in the sun with his sunglasses on his hat. Those are two of his big pet peeves. Grant Green gets a hold of one and drives it deep to left field, and there it goes. Well, that drop pop-up looms a little larger now as the Giants retake the lead.
Well, it could have been 2 outs, nobody on. You give up a solo home run, but now you're right. That stings a little bit more. And nobody feels any worse than Jake Lamb does about it. Robbie Ray could not pick him up. Fastball over the middle, and he knew it was gone as soon as he hit it.
So it's 3-2 Giants. Here's Ruben Tejada. That was the 4th career home run for Grant Green and his first as a Giant. He spent most of his big league service time with the Angels in Anaheim, Grant Green. Tejada has split this year between the Giants and the Cardinals. There's a strike, 2-1.
You had a chance for that shutdown inning too, and that hurts when you give up the momentum after your club scores a couple runs. You want to go out and have an efficient inning. You're a little bit towards the bottom of the order, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 runs get put on you.
I still can't get over the scoring. I mean, that's unbelievable. 3-1 to Tejada with a pitcher Peavy on deck. Robbie so far has walked 2 in the ball game. He struck out 6. Big cut at that one, 95, and it's a full count, 3-2.
One of the years I was playing for the Dodgers, we were playing the Mets in a day game, and Vince Coleman was playing left field. High fly ball at Shea Stadium. He misses the ball, hits him, the same kind of deal. He should have caught it, misses him. Sunglasses were on his hat. So they showed it in the back of the paper the next morning. Is it Newsday, I guess it is, in New York, or whatever it is. There's a big split shot of Vince Coleman missing that ball with the sunglasses on his hat, and a picture of him at a nightclub with his sunglasses on.
That's not good.
Only in New York, right?
Oh, you need a new press agent when that happens.
I guess that's a Newsday. Is that the one who used to cover the Mets? I don't know.
Well, they all do. Newsday, the Daily News, the Post, they all have the big back page.
I never laughed so hard ever I saw that.
Peavy shows bunt, swings away, and fouls it off.
Square around. Now Jake handles the bat well. As throughout his career. Trying to draw the infielders in, at least Jake Lamb in that time. And he did, but he just couldn't pull it back and make good enough contact to get it through the infield.
Who was the best hitting pitcher you ever played with? You can say yourself if you want.
No, it wasn't myself, trust me. I was fighting to stay over the interstate every year. The only thing I could do was bunt. Ramon Martinez could handle the bat very well.
Yeah.
With the Dodgers, yeah.
Peavy squares again. Lamb coming in from third. Pulls back and takes the ball. 2-1.
But I will tell you, the last hit I had, there wasn't that many of them, maybe 50. I don't even know. We were playing at Coors Field. A.J. Hinch was on first base.
Your buddy.
And actually second base. And I hit this ball, and the ball hit my bat. And we're at Coors Field, and I think it was going out of the ballpark. And as I was running down the first base line, I saw Dante Bichette stop, and that ball hit in right center field about 2 or 3 feet from the top of the wall. I was so mad, and the ball came right back to him, and a good throw would have got me at second base after hitting it out there.
You had 35 career hits.
35.
Peavy's got another one. He dunks that one into left. That's the 4th hit of the inning for the Giants if you count, or the 3rd hit for the inning of the Giants if you count the Lamb drop pop-up.
Well, that hurts right there because you always want to see how a pitcher reacts after a home run. Squares around, pulls it back, and then drops it into left field. And after the home run to Green, the walk to Tejada, and now a base hit to the pitcher. Nice visit by Tuffy, and now Mike Butcher's on his way out.
Your career high for a season was with the Dodgers in '94. You hit a $140. You had 7 hits that season.
And luckily, you know, that was the strike. Otherwise, it probably would have been down to about 115.
The bullpen will get busy. Randall Delgado. Well, it didn't start out very well for Robbie. Crawford led off the inning with a pop-up that Jake Lamb lost in the sun. It bounced in for an inexplicable single. Williamson flied out. Green homered. The walk to Tejada. Now the base hit by Peavy brings up Span, who so far has struck out twice, both times looking.
Just a really strange inning unfolding right now. It all starts with that pop-up lost in the sun. But pitching here, and even if it was a ground ball and an error that Jake made, you would have to pitch it. You have to pick your guys up.
Yeah.
You have to do that job, and he has not been able to do it this inning.
Little squib shot. Jake's got that one. Everybody back to the base in time, and that's the 2nd out. Span still hitless in the series. It'll bring up Angel Pagan.
Jake with the sunglasses down now to caught that ball.
He might wear them all night.
You bet. Don't get caught at a nightclub, though.
Yeah, well, that's full of Vince Coleman. Pagan 2 for 2. He has singled twice, stolen a base, and scored a run. Pagan is a switch hitter. He's close to equal from either side of the plate, but this year he's got 3 of his 4 home runs as a right-hand hitter. Ruben Tejada's at second. Jake Peavy at first. 2 outs, and there's ball 1.
As usual, Pagan always seems to be that pest. In the number 2 slot tonight, or today, already 2 base hits.
He's got a knack for it, that's for sure. Jake Lamb at third. They go the short way for the force on Peavy, and the inning finally ends. But the Giants get 2 on the Grant Green homer. They take a 3-2 lead. of those tours?
Yes, I have. That is actually called the Rocket Boat, and I have been on that, trying to get my kids soaking wet.
It's good parenting. Hey,
It's
fans, David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Paul Goldschmidt, all the baseball superstars will come together for the primetime event that will light up your summer. It's the MLB All-Star Game from San Diego, and it's coming up Tuesday, 4:30 only on Fox.
Can't wait.
Yeah, Gene Segura, who should be playing in that game, will lead off the fifth against Jake Peavy, who's now got a 3-2 lead. It's a bumpy fourth for Peavy. We'll see how he does here now as he starts the third time through the Diamondback order. Segura so far 0 for 2. Peavy back to throwing first pitch strikes.
And now he's got a chance for a shutdown inning. Top of the order coming up here, third time through.
Well, Segura has reached base safely in 17 straight games. Try to extend that streak here today. Close when he lays off, but he's down 1-2.
There's one thing Peavy has done in this game so far is he has been all over that outside edge with his cut fastball. I think Posey knows that's his strength. That's one of the jobs a catcher has. Guy comes out, you got 4 different pitches, in his case 5. And you want to see what's working early on. First pitch strikes were going great, but he's really gone to that cutter, especially to the righties.
I can't recall seeing Peavy shake off more than once or twice either.
Yeah, Posey's done a good job with it behind the plate. I think that's always one of the benefits when you have a catcher that likes the game calling part of it, but is also a good offensive player. And he can recognize things a lot quicker than maybe other catchers. And Posey's so good at that.
2-2 on Gene Segura as we start the fifth. 70 pitches, 47 strikes for Peavy. That's out of play.
Very rarely have you seen in this game Peavy miss his target by very much at all. I mean, no pitcher's going to be on his mark all game long. You're going to have a couple pitches that you're just going to miss. But he has been really close to the target of Posey's.
Well, it just goes to show you, right, that how much of pitching is command versus velocity. Location, it seems, is everything.
So Posey take a look at his feet.
Off the middle. That'll drop in front of Denard Span, and Gene Segura has now reached base in 18 straight ball games. A single to lead off the fifth.
See, that was a case we were talking about when we showed that graphic earlier about how Segura hits the inside fastball. And he's been hitting at about a 450 clip. They're trying to come inside off the plate that time. He left it on the inside part, but in the strike zone, and he drills it up the middle for a base hit.
Michael Bourne has singled and popped up 1 for 2. Tejada comes in at third. There's a strike 0-1.
Man, that's the job right now. Segura and Michael Bourne get on base. Give Goldie and Lamb a chance at it. Tomas got a base hit, RBI base hit. Set the table.
Long look down to third at Matt Williams. Oh, Javier Lopez was running down to the Giant bullpen and just bought it. An absolute banana peel. Three Stooges fall to the ground. Got up and took a bow. That was embarrassing.
Oh, you see Matty looking at him?
He was sprawled out right behind Matt Williams. Flat on the ground.
A face plant.
Oh, that was priceless. Lopez is warming up now, trying to put that behind him in the Giant bullpen.
He's already got a dirty uniform.
And not in a good way. Segura takes off. It rolls away from Posey. There's Javier Lopez, who's brushed himself off, gathered his dignity once again, and he's warming up. That's something you don't see too often.
No. You never know what you're going to see. You're right at a baseball game.
Yep, we've seen a few of them today already. 2-2 on Michael Bourne. This is up in the air for Pagan in left. It's dicey up there. Hey fans, add the D-backs sombrero to your collection next Saturday. It's July 16th, the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. And then stick around for the post-game concert featuring Latin recording artist, big Diamondback fan, Luis Coronel. It's presented by Sprint. You can get your tickets at dbacks.com.
I think you're right. Anytime ball goes up in the air here, it's hold your breath time.
I mean, you could tell just by the way Pagan positioned himself. He was ready for anything.
Yeah, there's nothing casual out there.
Yeah.
I mean, your feet are ready to go one way or the other.
Goldie has singled, doubled, scored a run, 2 for 2. Tying runs at second with 1 out in the 5th. Goldie last time up yanked his double into the left field corner. He's been pulling the ball a lot more often this year. Just about 40% of everything Paul hits is toward left field. That number was under 30% last year. Contos will join Lopez. He's throwing again in the Giant bullpen. Two and 0. This is where Goldie hits it. Hard to believe he's only gone the other way 19 times. We always say that the signature Paul Goldschmidt hit is a line drive rocket to right center field.
It seemed like that's the way it was all last year. It seemed like a little bit different this year.
Well, the wind is blowing straight out in that direction again. There's a strike, and it's 2-1. Changes minute to minute. Good time right now to have the wind blowing in that direction. Let's see if Goldie can get it up in the air. Jet stream going out there. 80 pitches for Peavy, 53 strikes. We believe we have a shot of Javier Lopez. He's warming up right now, but as he was coming out of the dugout to go start to warm up, this happened.
I love the fact that he just laid there.
That's right. Thank you. Good night. That was almost as good as the woman trying to catch Goldie's foul ball with a tray of food. 2-2. Well, you know what I say when I see Javier Lopez fall down like that? Pitching is pitching.
That's part of pitching. Got to get loose. It's almost like he was putting gum in his mouth or something trying to come out.
Can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Right.
3-2 pitch.
Pat your head and rub your tummy.
Goldie reaches out and just does stay alive.
Those left-handers.
Different breed. He may be getting ready for Jake Lamb here should Goldie reach. Segura at second, 1 away. Full count to Goldie.
'89 on the scoreboard, and here at the stadium on that fastball. So again, not overpowering stuff, but when you throw enough changeups and enough cutters and curveballs, sometimes that fastball can look just a little bit harder.
One more time on 3-2. Seems like you're right, Candy. Goldie is letting that ball get a little deeper than we normally see. He's waiting just that extra half a beat against Peavy.
I think he's sitting on the cutter way. He's thrown so many of them. I think Goldie's looking out there, and that fastball, even though it's not real hard, that one on the scoreboard was 88. But it's getting deep on him, like you said.
Yeah, Peavy has not walked a batter today. He's got 3 strikeouts. He worked a walk. There's the first base on balls, and the Diamondbacks will have 2 on and 1 out for Jake Lamb. Here comes Bruce Bochy. He's got his lefty Lopez ready, with Peavy at 86 pitches.
Well, I think Bruce also knows that, you know, it's danger third time through. I know we did the numbers a little earlier, but when guys are getting good looks like the Diamondbacks seem to be getting right now, you know, a manager will see that. He doesn't go by the numbers.
He checked with Peavy first and then made the motion. Lopez coming in to face Lamb back after this. The 5th inning, and the personification of the loogie, the lefty 1-out guy, is the left-hand specialist Javier Lopez. He's worked a total of just 14 innings all year, but he's appeared in 38 games. So he is a one-and-done guy, and his one guy is Jake Lamb with 2 on and 1 out.
I think Bochy recognizes early right now. Peavy was, you know, struggling a little bit out there third time through, but also this part of the game right now, you know, he doesn't want to give the D-backs any kind of breathing room.
Well, you've got Lamb up there, who's leading the league in slugging and OPS. Jake, an even 200 hitter this year versus left-hand pitching. That includes 4 home runs and 10 walks. His on-base percentage against lefties is nearly .330. First pitch strike. Lamb singled and scored his last time up against Jake Peavy. He's 1 for 2. Over the mound, and that one is gloved by Crawford, who makes a tremendous play. Brandon Crawford from short right center field spins and throws him out.
Boy, really robbed him of a base hit. Crawford so good in the field. He goes a long ways, even despite of this shift. He's way out and behind the second baseman.
And he's got to avoid the second baseman, Grant Green, on this one. They almost collided here.
What a terrific play.
And as per usual, he got his one guy, and that's it for Javier Lopez. Diamondbacks have second and third, 2 down for Tomas. Back in a moment. Fans follow Diamondbacks baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. You can stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, the whole thing. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablets. The right-hander George Contos is on to face Yasmani Tomas. Gene Segura at third, Paul Goldschmidt at second. And 2 outs. Diamondbacks down 3-2 in the 5th.
Another key at bat in this game right here.
Swing on the first pitch and he misses it. It's 0-1. Contos has really struggled lately in these situations. His 31st appearance, a 3.28 ERA. But opponents are batting .333 with 7 RBIs against him, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
So situational pitching, he has really struggled.
This is a big situation. Tomas hits it out toward Pagan, and he's got it. Pagan gloves that one tightly. And the Diamondbacks cannot get a run across. They strand 2. They trail it 3-2. Bottom of the fifth inning for the Giants. They lead it 3-2. Greater coverage of baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. A look around the rest of the National League West. Dodgers will host the Padres in L.A. Brandon McCarthy on the mound. His return from Tommy John continues. Rockies will host the Phillies. Belt looks at strike one. He has struck out and hit an RBI triple, 1 for 2.
One-run game, another big inning here for Robbie. Every inning is big right now. You got to keep him right where it's at. When you start facing the middle part of the order, that third time through is always such a big key for a starting pitcher. Got to be effective.
Peavy only made it 1/3 of the way through the order the third time. Segura singled. He got Bourne to fly out. He walked Goldie, and then Bruce Bochy went to the bullpen. Diamondbacks have the shift on again for Brandon Belt. Robbie Ray, 85 pitches, 50 strikes.
A lot of pitches already.
It's been a recurring theme for Robbie all year long. Although he's done a better job lately of pitching deeper into the ball game. And he strikes out Brandon Belt for the second time today. That's 7 strikeouts for Robbie Ray, 1 down in the 5th.
What a nice pitch. Just the location of this breaking ball. The slider, see how important it is to stay on top of it. Look where this ball is. Down, away. In fact, Tuffy catches this ball just before it hits the dirt.
Buster Posey has walked and flied out 0 for 1. Robbie Ray has completed at least 6 innings in 4 of his last 5 starts. He went through a long stretch earlier this year from the middle of April through the first week of June, during which he finished 6 innings only once in 9 starts. So that's a big improvement for Robbie here as the season has gone along. But you've got a tight ball game here, Candy. Pitcher spot would be up 4th in the 6th inning for the Diamondbacks, so we'll see if this is the inning in which Robbie empties the tank.
Yeah, and I think Chip is going to be really watching him this inning to see how he ends up going through this inning.
On the ground to shortstop for Nick Ahmed. Low throw. Goldie scoops it, 2 down.
I feel like Nick threw a changeup across the diamond that time. Normally
a splitter or something.
Go, and it's right on the chest of Goldie that time. Yeah, he's working on one of his pitches out there.
The dangerous Brandon Crawford. Here's a look.
He comes up, fields it perfect, has a grip, everything, and then throws the quail.
It was almost one of those, Candy, where he may have had too much time. You've got that split second to kind of think about it. That seems to cause some infielders some problems.
Yeah, where he doesn't have to crank up and throw it.
Crawford has struck out, singled, scored a run, 1 for 2. Oh, that got toughy.
Fastball. Watch this foul tip. Ooh. Oh man. It didn't even phase Tuffy.
Mark Carlson immediately checks in on him. He knows how that feels. 90 pitches for Robbie Ray. There's ball 1. Brandon Crawford, we talked about this last night, Candy, how far he's come against left-hand pitching. Look at this, 290 this year versus lefties. That includes 3 home runs. 2 of them off Patrick Corbin.
And lefties better than righties.
Yeah.
Pretty good even slugging. 430 against lefties.
2-1 pitch. Drives that the other way. It backs up Brandon Drury at the track, and he's got room. And Robbie Ray works a 1-2-3 fifth. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 3-2. AT&T Park where the Diamondbacks trail the Giants. Hey D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can now stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and D-backs baseball with you wherever you go. We start the 6th inning. Steve Berthune, Tom Candiotti, and Ton Walsh with you. Brandon Drury will lead it off against right-hander George Contos. Brandon had an RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 2. He's now hit safely in 6 straight.
Little by little. A difference in velocity with PV. Now even Contos right there, that slider he just threw was 87. That was almost PV's fastball. So now the hitters have to make a little different adjustment now. Turn up the dial a little bit.
Brandon sends this out to Pagan. Got to come in on that one, and he runs it down. Angel Pagan, 1 away.
Pagan got a real good break on this ball. He's playing in his home field. And right off the bat, he recognized that it broke the bat. Ball was on the inside part, and good jump and catches it before it hits the ground. That was a nice play.
Yeah, that wind is now coming across the field from right to left, blowing that one toward the foul line. So if he goes away 0 for 2.
And constantly you're going to watch the Giants players, especially the Giants, always checking the wind conditions every inning. Because it changes.
Batter to batter, and it has all day long. Now it's blowing out to center. Figure that out. Robbie Ray's spot in the order is due up 4th in this inning. He's at 93 pitches right now. So Randall Delgado will start warming up at the Diamondback bullpen. You've got Ahmed on deck in the pitcher spot behind that. There's a strike, 1-1. Boy, Tuffy was just tearing up the Coast League down at Reno. He was hitting .342 for the Aces. 9 homers, 26 RBIs, a Pacific Coast League All-Star. 2 hits in his first game this year a week ago. There's a strike, and it's 1-2.
Not bad up here. He's hitting .429.
He's raking. Conto strikes him out. He's retired all 3 he's faced. 2 down in the 6th.
Pretty nasty 2-seamer. This one had a lot of life to it. Well, it did have some run, but watch the movement on this fastball. It just really did. Posey, the way he caught that ball, wasn't. You could tell it had a lot of movement to it. The way he caught it.
2-seamer from the righty to the right. He's going to break down and in.
Yes.
Nick Ahmed now 0 for 2. Pitcher spot, Robbie Ray is up next. Chris Herman in the on-deck circle. And Delgado continues to warm up. Boy, when the pitcher throws a first pitch ball, 4 for 5 with a walk. Peavy was getting ahead in the count for much of the first 3 innings with that first pitch strike. Stopped doing it in the 4th and ran into trouble. This is hit high in the air. It backs up Pagan on the warning track in left field. And he's got it. 3 up, 3 down for Contos. Diamondbacks trail it 3-2. Diamondbacks trail the Giants 3-2. Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every D-backs win, you'll get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Just enter promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com. Bottom of the sixth, new pitcher for the Diamondbacks, your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. It's Randall Delgado, the right-hander. 45 innings of work in 37 appearances, and ERA right at 4.
Randall has such a resilient arm. It seems like he can pitch 3, even 4 days in a row at times.
Mac Williamson spot is due up, and Gregor Blanco will take the at-bat. So they get the left-hander out of the game. And they take the right-hand hitting Williamson out and insert Blanco to lead off the sixth.
And I also think, you know, with the All-Star break, you know, just coming up, you only have this game and tomorrow's game, and that's it. So it gives the managers a lot of flexibility to use a lot of different pitchers.
Blanco homered in his only at-bat last night, his first of the year. He's missed some time recently with a sore left knee. Delgado falls behind 3-0.
Delgado wanted that pitch. Two-seamer inside, but Mark Carlson said no.
His home run last night is first since August of 2014, Gregor Blanco. His first one here at home. Came off Silvino Bracho to start the 8th inning last night. Well, a leadoff walk. 4th walk of the ball game issued by Diamondbacks pitchers.
One of the things that have haunted some of the Diamondbacks pitchers, especially the bullpen guys, that first batter efficiency. And we talk about coming in, throwing strikes, get that first guy out. You know, this not the way that Randall wants to start off with a leadoff walk.
Well, Bruce Bochy recalled Mac Williamson and had Blanco pinch hit. Now we'll bring Grant Green back, and we'll see Ramiro Pena. Pena just 15 games for the Giants this year. He's hitting .381. Struck out twice in a couple of at-bats last night. Zach Curtis, the left-hander, will start warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. Albert Suarez warming up for the Giants. There's Zach.
Bochy knows also Diamondbacks really just the one lefty in the bullpen.
Andrew Chafin on the DL right now. That's popped up into that sun and wind for Nick Ahmed. Very tricky out there, and he's got it.
Even the crowd knows it.
You bet.
But when you know a team only has one lefty, as Bochy knows, probably Chip wants to keep him for more, probably a bigger moment in the game, probably looking at maybe a Belt, possibly a Crawford, even though Crawford hits lefties. So you're able to bring other guys up early.
Ruben Tejada walked his last time up, 0 for 1. Had a double in last night's ball game. And they're at third for the injured Matt Duffy, who still got that strained Achilles. Pitcher spot is due up next, and there's nobody in the on-deck circle. Now here comes Jared Parker. Boy, Bruce Bochy managing this like it's the end of September.
Yeah.
He's going righty-lefty bullpen guys. He's emptying his bench here in the 6th inning.
You have 2 games left. This game, well, a game and a half before the break. He might use everybody on the roster.
He's trying. This is laced down the left field line, and that's a fair ball. Roberto Kelly waving Blanco home. He will score. Here's the relay from Ahmed, and it's cut off. Giants lead at 4-2. Ruben Tejada, an RBI double.
That leadoff walk comes back to haunt. This was loud off the bat. A fastball middle in. He turned on it very quick to the ball. finds the left field corner. And that's a run.
Now there comes Chip Hale. He's got Curtis warming up. Jared Parker has been announced as the hitter. The left-hand batter will hit for the pitcher. And so we'll see how Chip wants to play this. He's got Curtis warming up. Haven't seen anybody come out of the Diamondback dugout as of yet. And here comes, looks like Phil Gosselin maybe. We'll sort it out when we come back. Inning, the new pitcher, the lefty Zach Curtis, recalled from AA Mobile on Wednesday. 15 big league appearances this year, a 4.91 ERA. He had a scoreless appearance last night, his first big league action since June 14th. Gene Segura moves from second base to shortstop, replacing Nick Ahmed, and Phil Gosselin takes over at second base. Gosselin will bat ninth, pitcher spot now eighth for the Diamondbacks, and Jared Parker will face Curtis, hitting for the pitcher.
And the key for Zach here is to make sure he throws strikes. Got 7 walks in those 11 innings that he's pitched.
Parker homered off Randall Delgado last week at Chase Field. He got 3 hits in that series, 258 and 5 home runs. This is a guy who does strike out a lot. He's punched out 10 times in his last 21 at bats. Tejada, the runner at second, 1 out and 1 run in.
Keep the ball down. Try to roll over the top of one, trying to get him hit. Nice pitch there, the slider, but location down and away.
That was picture perfect right there, right?
Do that again. Probably get a strikeout. Location and the spin of that ball down and away, perfect.
One and two. This is lifted up into that sun and wind. Left center field. Bourne and Drury. Brandon Drury's got it. Everything up in the air is an adventure out there.
And just watching the way Michael Bourne was going after this ball. He stopped, he went again, he stopped. I mean, look at the route. Going and then hitting Brandon Drury's like hitting into a brick wall out there.
Well, you don't know which way the wind is going to blow the baseball, right? It might go away from Michael, might come back toward him.
You just don't know.
Yeah. Well, this worked out nicely for Chip Hale. He got the left-hand hitting Parker to fly out. Now with 2 down, here's the lefty Darren Span. Span 0 for 3. And he's 0 for 8 in the series. There's a strike, 0-1.
Zach looks like he's got a pretty good slider going.
Sure does.
There's another nice swing and a miss. Tuffy going with it, calls another one. Scoots just a little bit outside. He dots the glove. Another nice pitch.
We were talking about earlier in the ballgame with Tom Walsh about young guys here with the Diamondbacks who could close. Zach Curtis has done a lot of closing in the Diamondback system at the lower levels of the minor leagues. And he put up some pretty impressive numbers. 14 saves at Hillsborough a couple of years ago. Last year he pitched for Kane County, dominated there, 33 saves with a 1.33 ERA, 75 strikeouts in 54 innings. So he's got a lot of closer experience. A converted starting pitcher at Middle Tennessee State.
He could throw his card in there, but I'm guessing the Chip really wants to use him as a lefty out of the bullpen,
especially with Chafin on the DL right now. 2-2 on Denard Span. They're going to find out a lot about some of these young guys over the next 2 months or so. That's along the left field line. Brandon Drury on the run near the bullpen, and he face plants the bullpen. We'll see if Brandon is all right as it lands in foul ground.
One of the unique characteristics about this ballpark is those bullpen mounds are on just in foul territory.
He hit the side of the hill.
Of course, his ball's right at it.
Wow.
And he expecting to dive, and he dives up, and base goes right into the dirt. Oh man.
It's been one of those days. You can see Suarez, the pitcher, had been warming up, running to get out of the way there. And he hits the side of the mound with his face. Fortunately, Brandon looks like he's okay.
His glasses, they might be another. He's another pair.
Well, they were on his face anyway, right?
Yeah, that's right. He was wearing them. No, not now.
Can't risk it.
They're busted.
2-2. Boy, he hit that thing hard.
Yeah, he did.
He's a tough kid.
That's the only way he plays.
Kid. Yep. Every time. We've seen him go flying over fences in Miami. Remember that?
Yeah.
Marlins Park. That was when he was playing right field. Tejada at second. 2 outs, 3-2 to Span. Right back to the mound. Zach has it, and he'll take it himself. The late toss to Goldie, and that's the inning. But the Giants get one more on Tejada's RBI double. They lead it 4-2. Giants 4-2, each team with 7 hits. It's our Arrowhead Honda game diagnostic. The starting box score for the Diamondbacks. Not much from the lower third of the order, Candy.
Nothing from the lower third. Everyone else is contributing. Goldie with the big day so far.
New pitcher for the Giants. He started Sunday's series finale at Chase Field. Now he's working in relief. It's the right-hander Albert Suarez, his 13th appearance this year. And Phil Gosselin, who's taken over at second base, will lead it off for the Diamondbacks. Defensive changes behind Suarez. Pena stays in the game, takes over at second, and Blanco is in right field. One and one on Phil Gosselin, who's hitting .264 with a home run. Phil's hit safely in 3 straight games, 5 of his last 6. He doubled Wednesday against the Padres. Yes, he went, says Mike DeMiro.
Pretty good pitch. He just dropped that breaking ball right where Posey wanted it. D-backs got to get something going. Down by 2 runs here. You start getting late in the game here when you're going up against Bochy. He just plays matchups, and he might use 5 more pitchers this game.
Well, I like Gosselin leading off this section at the order, Candy. He's batting a 9th spot here, but he's got Segura, Bourne, Goldie, Lamb behind him.
Yeah, this is a nice little place to be right now.
Yeah, typical Phil Gosselin. He's worked the count full. Gives you good at bat almost every time.
Except when he hits cleanup.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well. In there to beat a contact guy, he went 0 for 5. It happens. Hitting is hitting. There's a leadoff walk. Hey, fans, anytime the Diamondbacks score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 p.m. the following day at participating locations. Here's Segura, who singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3.
Well, leadoff walk for the Giants scored last inning. Let's see if the D-backs can return the favor. Maybe more.
Yeah, Blanco walked to start the bottom of the 6th. Came home on Tejada's double. Here's Segura. It's fouled off, 0-1. Brandon Drury trying to fix those shades after that face plant into the mound.
Minor surgery.
Enrique Burgos walking down to the Diamondback bullpen. He'll start throwing down there. He's going to play, it looks like, Andy, a fairly significant role here in this new D-back bullpen now with Brad Ziegler in Boston. That's what Chip Hale told us before the ball game today. Burgos, from what they've seen, has earned the right to pitch a little later in some of these games. Did a good job getting some big outs last year.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting watching how this all kind of pans out.
Bullpens always evolve, man. Bullpens, it seems, always evolve for every team, especially a young one like this. Never the same group, never the same roles at the end of the year than they were at the start.
That's why it's very uncommon, I think, to find a guy like, let's take Tyler Clifford, a guy that's had so many appearances and been so effective year after year after year after year.
Well, that's why he
very
got,
consistent.
Yeah, that's why he got $12 million from the Diamondbacks, a 2-year deal. He's a proven commodity. Done a great job this year. There's Tyler Clifford. Burgos went down there to start warming up. Just started playing catch for a moment or two. Never really threw a pitch and has now stopped warming up, and he's back in the dugout.
They all came back.
Yeah, the whole group went down there. Garvin Alston, the bullpen coach, couple of catchers. Here's a double play ball. Pena boots it, and everybody's safe. Ramiro Pena just in there at second base. Sure enough, the first ball hit into fair territory in the inning finds him.
I'm sure this is going to be called an error.
I don't know. The pop-up was a hit. Yes, that is an error.
Looked like it was a double play. That's a break for the Diamondbacks.
Big one. Dave Righetti to the mound. So E4, there goes the left-hander, Josh Osich. Maybe getting ready for Jake Lamb if it gets that far. Time runs out on Dave Righetti. Mark Carlson out to break that up. So the Diamondbacks down 2 have something going here. You've got Goslin at second, Segura at first, nobody out. Bourne, Goldie, Lamb coming up. Michael singled in the first inning. He's 1 for 3 today.
Well, a couple gifts really for the Diamondbacks here. You have the leadoff walk, error on the second baseman, probably could have been a double play ball, close to, if not at least 1 out. But right now, 2 outs, nobody on.
Got to take advantage. Tejada in at third. Belt in at first. They're expecting the bunt. Bourne taken all the way, 1-0. Are you a fan of giving up outs in these situations?
I'd rather see him swing the bats myself. I'm not a big believer in the bunt.
Swings away, lifts it in the air, center field. Denard Spans out there. Goslin tags up, hustles into third.
You know, there's a time for it. I think maybe when you get towards the bottom of the order or something like that, a little bit different. But I just don't like giving up outs.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
You're on that too?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you almost every time. And it worked there. I mean, you got the out, but you advanced the runner to third. Especially Bourne has been swinging the bat well lately. Goldie has reached base safely 3 times, a single, a double, a walk. He scored a run. And he's got Goslin at third, Segura at first, and 1 out.
Well, big time for Goldie now. 2 for 2 in this game. Seeing the ball very well.
Well, he likes this ballpark. He's a .325 career hitter at AT&T Park. 46 games here, 8 home runs and 35 RBIs.
I'll say he likes the park. He's been a giant killer throughout his career.
That's a Tapper foul. Goldie, a couple of singles last night, 2 hits again today. He's now hit safely in 6 straight. And again, you can look forward to Aaron Boone's Goldie imitation in the network game tomorrow night. That's a 5:05 start back home in Arizona. That's out of play. He's seen Suarez before. Goldie homered off him Sunday at Chase Field.
Three-run home runs always help.
Along with some pitching and some defense. That worked for Earl Weaver. Wind blowing out to right center again. The 1-2 to Goldie. Got him.
Goldie expanded his zone that time, and I think he was just trying to spoil this pitch. And he kind of one-handed it out of the zone. Couldn't make contact.
Well, he's had the left-hander Osich warming up. The left-hander Lamb is coming up. So lefty on lefty again. Back after this. Runners on in the 5th inning to face a left-hand reliever and hit a ground ball. He'll try and do it again. This was Jake Lamb's at bat early in the ball game. Watch Buster Posey throw the ball back to Jake Peavy, who's not looking. He's yelling at the umpire, and the ball lands right in his glove.
How does that happen?
Jake Lamb was the hitter. Look out! Peavy was screaming down at the third base umpire, Quinn Walcott, on a check swing appeal. Walcott said he did not go. Peavy was really hot and not paying attention.
Either that or he was watching Javi Lopez face plant.
It's been a weird day. We've seen everything tonight. So here we go. 2 on and 2 out. Jake Lamb versus the lefty Josh Osich. There's a strike 0-1.
Now Osich has a little bit different stuff. You're going to have to really turn that dial up. That first one, 96.
We've seen these two square off, Candy, a bunch of times this year. Osich has allowed 9 runs in his last 11 innings of work with 3 blown saves along the way, but he's ahead 0-1. Jake hits it on the ground. Oh boy, Brandon Crawford's there again. Once again, a Crawford defensive gem saves the Giants and keeps it a 4-2 ball game. trail the Giants 4-2. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink, the final game of the first half of the season. This is the Sunday night network game. Archie Bradley on the mound for the Diamondbacks against Madison Bumgarner, who, because he's pitching tomorrow night, will not pitch, he says, in the All-Star game Tuesday in San Diego. It's a 5:05 start back home, the great state of Arizona. Angel Pagan leads off the 7th against Zach Curtis. Sergio Romo has started throwing in the Giant bullpen. Enrique Burgos in the Diamondback pen. First pitch swing and lifted in the air. Very short right field for Tomas. That'll bring up Brandon Belt.
That's a good way to start. One pitch, one out.
Belt had an RBI triple in the 3rd. He's also struck out twice, 1 for 3.
These are the matchups I really like to watch for Zach Curtis. We know he's had a lot of success in the minor leagues, the little time he's been there, but big leagues against a pretty tough left-handed hitter here, all-star.
So what do you look for in this situation for Zach Curtis?
Just how he handles him, how he goes about it. Does he work ahead? Is he afraid of him, or is he going to challenge him?
Diamondbacks have the shift on. Segura all by himself on the left-hand side at shortstop. Just inside, 2-0.
Spun him around that time with the inside fastball. Actually, that was only 82 miles an hour. It must have been the change.
Wind now blowing hard across the outfield from right to left. That's with that slider, 3-0.
At some point, the manager's going to bring Zach Curtis in at a time to get a tough lefty out. And I think this is one of the things Chip's watching right now. I mean, there's nobody on base. You want to see him attack him.
Fastball's in there, first strike. Shoots that the other way, away from the shift. And Brandon Belt has his second hit today. A 1-out single. Hey fans, send your kids back to school in style next Sunday, July 17th. First 5,000 kids to the Chase Field ball game will take home the D-backs back to school backpack. It's courtesy of Smile Generation. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. That's July 17th coming up. Sunday against the Dodgers. Those are nice backpacks too. They have the teal in there. It's a good looking backpack. Enrique Burgos on his way in back after this. Enrique Burgos, his third stint in the big leagues this year. 10 appearances, a 6.10 ERA. A call from AAA Reno Saturday, worked a scoreless inning Tuesday in the win over the Padres. He's got Brandon Belt at first with 1 out. And the batter is Buster Posey. .96 from Burgos, and it's 0-1.
And in there for a strike. That was a nice pitch to start.
Posey walked in the first. He's 0 for 2.
I think Burgos is, we talked a little earlier, one of those guys to really keep your eye on, because he has got the stuff to be a closer.
He's closed before at different minor league levels. Double play ball right to Goslin. Segura for 1. They roll it. And Enrique Burgos comes in, gets 2 quick outs. He sends us to the 8th inning. It's 4-2 Giants. Weirdness, Candy. This woman tried to catch a foul ball with a tray of food. We've seen everything. Angel Pagan got hit in the ear with a throw from the catcher on a stolen base. Jake Peavy not looking at his catcher. Buster Posey finds the glove anyway. Look out, Jake Lamb. Jake had his own problems. Sunglasses on his hat. It hits him in the shoulder. Javier Lopez can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And Brandon Drury, a face full of pitcher's mound. It's been a weird day. That's the Gig Life high-speed highlights. Presented by Cox. No one there, Candy, appeared to be living the Gig Life.
We have 2 innings still to go.
Buckle up. Well, here he is on to start the 8th inning for the 2nd game in a row. It's Sergio Romo just off the DL, his 7th appearance of the year. Yasmani Tomas will lead it off. Diamondbacks trail at 4-2. Tomas had an RBI single in the 4th against Jake Peavy, 1 for 3. Bruce Bochy running through his bullpen. Romo, the 5th different Giant reliever to work in the ball game today. He gets ahead 0-1.
Through all this stuff, right now, D-backs are only down by 2 runs. It's just a bloop and a blast. Need to get a base runner.
Well, they've had their chances, that's for sure. They had, let's see, 2 on and 1 out in the 5th. Could not get a run across. First 2 reached in the 7th. Nobody out. Could not score a run.
I thought you had him really when you had Goldie up.
Yeah.
1st and 3rd.
This one's popped up. Here we go again. Who wants it? Really fighting that sun. It's Crawford. And he's got it.
Doesn't it seem like the Giants have such an advantage in a day game here because they play so many, games here when it's really difficult conditions to catch the ball with the wind, the sun.
I would think you have to remember to check for the wind because now it's blowing in a completely different direction. Straight in from right center field.
The wind has fascinated you.
It's amazing it changes batter to batter. I mean, it might be completely different 30 seconds from now. Jake Barrett warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. There's a strike. No, I'm just saying, as a fielder, you have to remember to check that almost with every pitch.
Yeah, you always constantly have to look at the flags.
So it's just a habit you need to get into, and I imagine that would be an advantage for the Giants.
You know, playing the sun, and think about this with the Diamondbacks. You know, a lot of times with the roof closed, you're not playing home games, having to deal with the sun at all.
Yeah. 1-1 on Brandon Drury. Drury an RBI single in the 4th inning. Shoots this the other way, but right at Brandon Belts. Hey fans, have you seen the D-backs sombrero? It's the first of its kind. It'll be given out to the first 20,000 fans at the game next Saturday, July 16th against the Dodgers. And you've got to get this one for your summer collection. Get your tickets for the ball game now at dbacks.com. Tuffy Goza-Wish's spot is up, but here's Wellington Castillo. Looking for that blue bore blast. Castillo, 272 and 10 homers. Pitcher spot is coming up next, and Chris Herman's in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot now 8th in the D-backs order. There's a strike to Castillo. Welly last night 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts.
Another slider. Got a little piece of it, fouled it off.
Well, Romo was very impressive last night. He came on to start the 8th inning. Goldie led off that inning with a single, and then he struck out in order Lamb, Castillo, and Herman. And now he's ahead of Castillo, 0-2.
Going way away with that slider. He leaves it inside.
And you were mocking me a moment ago, but now the wind is blowing in the exact opposite direction.
It really is. In fact, I think those flags have been kind of wrapped around the pools. They've been changing direction so often.
Yeah, look at the California state flag right there. It's a mess. 1-2.
The flag's at the top over the clock and center, straight out.
Well, he reaches down, lifts that in the air to Pagan, backing up and left, and he's got it. And Romo works a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom 8 on the way. Diamondbacks trail it 4-2.
Here in the bottom of the 8th, Todd Walsh back in San Francisco, and Steve and Tom, I just wanted to pay off some of the theater of the absurd that you just showed us from this game earlier. There's our fans, Whitney and Jeremy. Whitney won the Jake Lamb shirt, and Jeremy said he wanted that Bud Selig bobblehead. I've never met anyone that really coveted a commissioner's bobblehead. Somebody walked up to me in the stands out there and said, "Is that really a Bud Selig bobblehead?" I said, "Yeah."
I have one of those.
Like I said.
Well, I'm just saying we were at Milwaukee. I think it was last year, and they had
right.
Bud Selig bobblehead day, and I happened to.
Yeah.
I like as soon as the fact you gave her the shirt. Jake Lamb dropped the pop up at third base.
Yeah, nice timing.
Same time.
I've been waiting quietly since then, by the way, into the penalty box.
Now, see, if this was Twitter, you'd just be getting slaughtered right now.
No, I've been getting slaughtered since last night when we did our diatribe about people on their devices too
Why?
much. Oh my goodness.
People got upset.
Said I was too old. I was out of touch.
Get off my lawn.
I know.
Just all we ask is that you pay attention. That's all.
That's
not too much to ask.
Moderation, right?
So Gosselin, Crawford grounds out. What away. It's all right. Well, people responding to you angrily they're staring at their phones.
That was my point.
Yeah, so it all kind of worked out. Perfect storm, if you will. Burgos back out there to start the 8th, and here's Blanco.
A Bud Selig bobblehead.
They had one at Miller Park last year. I think it was last year. Might have been the year before. Our producer, Brad the Big Dog Weimer, who came to us from Milwaukee, confirms it was last year's.
So you brought yours home then, right?
I did. I got it at home. It's on the desk.
Not in your garage, on your desk. So
no,
Steve's
I don't.
Desk.
You have a giant ball of string in your house, so everything has to go in the garage, along with old newspapers, as we know, right?
Only ones that matter.
That's right. Apparently Lindbergh made it.
Yes, he did.
Can't throw that out. Might need that.
That's my point. I felt like the Selig bobblehead was expendable on the anniversary of the 2002 All-Star game. That was the opportunity, so we jumped on it.
It's good. It's as timely as it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, something.
Something. Pitching is pitching.
As timely as today's headlines. Pitching is pitching. That's right. But not all bobbleheads are bobbleheads. Looks like Santiago Casillas started warming up at the Giant bullpen.
That's the key to all keys.
I do have a Bowie Kuhn coffee cup. I'm going to hold on to that.
All right.
Yeah, if they only made a Donald Fair bobblehead, so you could have that right there with Bud's.
Marvin Miller, get them all in there.
Right.
That's when baseball was run like an Eastern Bloc country.
When baseball was baseball?
Yes. Michael Bourne backs up in left center. It is interesting that he wanted, apparently desperately, the Bud Selig bobblehead. It's one thing to get one when they're giving them, oh, sure, I'll take one, thanks. But it's another one. Wow, I really wanted that.
I thought there would have been a spirited debate. It's sort of how I envisioned that going.
Way to try and set a couple against each other, Todd.
Yes, I did.
We're supposed to be bringing people together here.
I think you went on eBay.
One big D-backs family. Ramiro Pena. I'm telling you, Todd has a ball of string in his house. It's the size of one of those giant truck tires. Where that's just Bob. Bob and I have a theory about that. The newspapers, we just made that up. But the ball of string, I think that actually exists.
I do have some confetti from a U2 concert that came from the ceiling. I thought it was important to bring that home, but I do not.
What year was that? 1984?
No, that was in the last decade, but there's no ball of string.
Post Joshua Tree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
That's when they could afford confetti to drop from the ceiling.
Oh, phone's blowing up. See, this is what we're talking about. Not watching the game. Hey, you paid your money. Do what you want. Enjoy yourself. That's all we ask. Now they're sitting in a seat where they'll be okay. If you're right behind one of the dugouts, that could get you in trouble.
Oh yeah, Will.
Yeah. Here we go again. The sun, the wind, the whole thing. Who wants it? Gosselin will give way to Segura, and he's got it. Enrique Burgos works a 1-2-3 8th inning. Our thanks to Todd Walsh. 9th inning coming up. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. Back-to-back RBI singles against Jake Peavy, Osmani Tomas, and Brandon Drury. Diamondbacks at that point had a 2-1 lead. They now trail at 4-2, but they'll look for more RBI hits here against the Giants closer, the right-hander Santiago Casilla. 20 for 24 in his save chances this year. He's converted 13 of his last 14. 20 saves, 7th most in the National League. Pitcher spot leads it off in the Arizona ninth. Here's Chris Herman.
Down by 2 runs. Get a guy on base.
Chris 293 and 6 homers. He struck out as a pinch hitter last night.
Kind of a searching swing that time.
Chris still dealing with that sore hamstring that flared up in Colorado. Diamondbacks have not had a base hit since Segura's single to lead off the 5th. They've been out hit 8-7. They trail at 4-2. That's going to get foul. So Herman hitting for the pitcher. It'll be Herman, Goslin, and Segura. 8, 9, and 1 in the Diamondback ninth. Todd Walsh will have Diamondback Live pregame or postgame show, pardon me, as soon as we're done here. Series finale tomorrow night. Archie Bradley and Madison Bumgarner. That one missed, and it's a full count, 3-2.
Daniel Hudson up in the pen just in case Diamondbacks get 3 runs.
Huddy just back from bereavement leave.
Huddy getting the cobwebs out.
Took Brad Ziegler's roster spot after Brad was traded to the Red Sox during the game last night. Full count on Chris Herman. Now Posey wants to get together with Casilla.
Tell you, when you have a team that's been in the playoffs and obviously the World Series wins the Giants have had, it seems like they're so good at playing close games and winning in close games where certain pitches become big pitches in the outcome of a game. And this is one of them. He wants to make sure if he calls an off-speed pitch, he wants to make sure his pitcher can throw it for a strike.
3 balls, 2 strikes. There's a bouncer to first for Belt. 1 out.
We say many times, no matter who the Giants have on the mound out there, when Buster Posey's behind the plate, I mean, it's almost like you're pitching to your manager.
Oh, it's one reason why the Giants this year are 20-10 in 1-run games. They've won twice as many as they've lost. Goslin walked in his first plate appearance. Phil hitting .310 over his last 13 games, 9 of those starts. Drive this one to center for Span, backing up on the run in the gap, and he won't get there. It rolls to the wall, and Phil Goslin pulls in at second with a 1-out double. There's your base runner, Candy. Phil's now hit safely in 4 straight, 6 of 7.
Span really patrols center field so well here. I thought that great catch he made last night, I thought he might get to this ball, just missed it. When you're battling the sun, you're battling the wind, and you're battling a hard hit ball way out going towards Triples Alley. Well, there's your base runner.
D-backs just 3 for 14 today with runners in scoring position. Segura has singled and reached on an error.
Flip over the order right now again. 5th time through.
Mark Carlson says strike one.
That was generous.
I was thinking that too.
I think for the Diamondbacks right now, with 1 out, a guy on second, if Segura can make something happen here. Looking at Bourne, you want to get Goldie and Lamb up in this game.
Gosselin at second, Segura the hitter. 1 out. 1 and 2. Another sellout crowd here in San Francisco today, 41,000 plus. Ground ball to Pena at second base. He collects that. Gosselin moves up, 2 outs.
Made a pretty good pitch on Segura that time. Down, away on that outside part of the plate. And he hit it well. It just happened to be right of Pena. So big hitter now, Bourne. Need to get on base. Try to get Goldie up.
He singled in the first, 1 for 4. Tejada creeping in from third. He's about even with the runner Gosselin down there. First pitch swinging, lifted in the air for Pagan in left. And the Giants win the ball game 4-2.
Well, the Diamondbacks kind of got off to a decent start in this game, but that was it. Just had that 1 inning where they scored any runs at all, and not enough offense in this game.
Diamondbacks have now lost 8 of their last 9 against the Giants. And they'll try and salvage the series finale tomorrow night with Archie Bradley on the mound against Madison Bumgarner. A weird, wild, sunny day in San Francisco. We saw a little bit of everything today. We'll recap it when we come back. It's the Diamondbacks live postgame show. Reaction from inside the clubhouse. D-backs drop this one 4-2. Back with a whole lot more from AT&T Park in San Francisco right after this on Fox Sports Arizona.